Hello. Right, so this is going to be a real quick video because I've done this before. It's just how I've set my picture up on my Skyglass. So I am going to swing around over here. Okay, you're not going to be able to see me, so it doesn't matter. Right, so what you need to do first when you get your TV is go all the way to the bottom, settings, picture and sound. My viewing mode is in custom, so you're going to need to change it to custom. Picture, that, make sure you turn it off because you don't need to be doing that because that is basically an eco mode. You won't get the best image out of your TV if you've got that on. That normally is set on when you first get your TV, and I believe your backlight is set on to about 50. I can't really remember because it's on. Let me just turn that on. So there you go. So your backlight is now automatic. So turn that off. There we go. It gives you lots of messages like this where no matter what you change, even if you change it back, you get the same sort of messages. So I put mine up to 70. It gets you, well, I did have it higher than that, but it was actually a bit too bright, so I've turned it down to 70. You'd never want it on 100 because it is so bright, it's unbelievable, unless you're in a really bright room with a sun beating through. That's the only time you need to whack that right up. So 70 works for me. I might even raise it down a little bit because it still is quite bright, but that will give you a really bright, nice picture that you should be getting, so you get all your decent clarity in. Your blacks and your whites will, you know, once you raise that up to where it sort of should be, where it is good for your eyes and good for what you like, because it's not all about, everyone's not all the same. You adjust it to how you like it. So right, then that just needs to stay. No, it's just your 16, but it just leave that at auto. I've never seen it change anyway, so don't think it's ever going to be an issue. I've got my HDR set to bright. You can put it to dark, whatever your preference is, and my Dolby Vision picture set to bright as well. Entirely up to you. Now this is something you need to definitely make sure that you change, because it should, when you have your TV, the settings will be on auto, which you don't want, because it will downgrade the picture if it wants to, which it probably will if you're using something that's not Sky and they're trying to sell you 4K. So make sure you put that on UHD, and then you'll get the best picture every time. This you won't really need to touch because the contrast and everything is fine. Make sure your sharpness is not up high because it's just artificial sharpening, so you don't want that, because otherwise you'll start getting blocky and horrible pictures. Video brightness, this sort of thing, I would probably just leave that alone. It looks fine how it is for me anyway. If you do feel like you need to change something, change it. Same with the hue, the color saturation, sorry, and the hue and the tint is underneath. I wouldn't muck about with any of that because otherwise it's going to change all your reds to what you don't really want it to be. Local dimming. Yeah, this is quite good to have on. It's normally the better thing if you different parts of the panel will sort of light and up and darken as it needs to. If you turn this off, I think you'll get the sort of edge where it looks like it's just edge lit, but it's sort of backlit, so it'll light up parts that it needs to, which is good for darker scenes, because the darker scenes will go, oh god, I tell you, the Ring only works when it feels like it. The dark sections go really nice and dark, and the light ones light, so it does help. It really does help. This again, unless you've got a color spectrum analyzer type thing, it's not really anything you're going to need to muck about with. It's more of a thing when they tune the telly in. It's just something you don't need to muck about with. Leave that alone, otherwise you're going to end up ruining your colors and everything. And that basically is how I've got mine set up, and it works absolutely fine for me. So let's just pop that back on there, and my picture's always lovely and bright and how I like it, and I've got no complaints with my TV except for the silly problems that we've just had. It doesn't seem to be many at the moment carrying on from that, only the silly one that I get when I turn it on, well, there's a couple of them, takes too long to turn on, and the thing coming up saying about the Wi-Fi. But you can watch my other videos for that. So thanks again for watching, like and subscribe.